the beat. I was like, you were naming things I did that I couldn't even remember. That's amazing.
Well, we are homies, you know.
My Boston homie too. I didn't know that. It's for real.
No joke. So
Hi guys. This is a big room. I like it.
we're going to go ahead and get started with questions. People are lining up in the middle, and we're going to get started with our favorite Vulcan.
Sweet. Hi. Howdy.
Hi, we're a big fan, my whole family's a big fan of Faith's character on Buffy. And we especially love all your lines, your catchy phrases. My question is, how much influence did you have, or was it mostly just Whedon's phrases? And also, what is 5 by 5 anyway?
I can't take credit for 5 by 5. That was definitely Whedon, and it means, oh come on, I'm gonna say what it means, and then someone's gonna be like, no, it means blah blah blah. Because I'm always corrected, but as far as I always knew, it meant like I'm good at, what is it? Someone say it, call it out.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. I mean, there's, I think, a few definitions I've found over the cons. But it means like, I'm good. And I think that there were a few Eliza Boston isms that came out of Miss Faith's mouth, but I can't really recall what. He definitely started writing her real Boston, though. Like at one point, we're like in the mayor's office and told the story. I'm like, we were at the Quincy Quarry, and yeah.
No R's. That's right. Thank you so much. Great.
I got off the plane last night, and I had on like a big yellow sweatshirt that said Boston across the front, and there was this little old lady and her husband, and they were like waiting for me when I got off the plane, and the lady was like, excuse me, where did you get your sweatshirt? She's like 80. And I'm like, is she fucking screwing with me right now? And then I was like, Boston? And then it turned out she was from Boston too and just wanted to know where I got it, like the store. But I was like, oh, this lady's on fire right now. She's trying to clown me. I'm in Austin now.
All right, young man, you are up.
Thank you for calling me young. So, by 2009, when Dollhouse premiered, there had been a little bit of a history of Whedon shows, Whedon projects not completely going all the way through multiple seasons like Buffy did. So the question is, you heard, when you got, or when you were getting ready to do this project, how did you approach it going into it? Did you kind of think, this probably isn't going to last? Or did you kind of, like, what was the whole, the process like for you?
Yeah, we were all like, we'll just, whoa.
Whoa.
Style right now.
Woo!
Waiting for a vampire to come out. That's kind of hot. No, we had high hopes, and we sort of had a sense that it was a show that could go on and on. There were so many different ways we could turn it and spin it, and we had a little trouble with our Friday night time slot, and Joss has spoken about it pretty openly. It felt like we pitched an idea, and the studio was like, yeah, totally, that's what we want too. And then as they sort of came together, it was a little different, and we reshot the pilot, and it was a little bit of a conflict of what they had hoped for and what we were trying to make. And so we were really happy that we got to finish the second season, and that we have two, chunky, solid, cool seasons of that show. And then, I had to let him go to do this little teeny movie, The Avengers, so like...
So there's that.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's that.
Thank you. Thank you. LeVar Burton gave me this RC Cola, and I'm like having an old school flashback right now. Reading Rainbow, I mean Star Trek Next Generation, but Reading Rainbow, and I think he wanted to throw up.
Hi, I just wanted to let you know that anything you do is right. I actually took my little sister to see Bring It On twice.
Oh,
Enjoyed
yes.
It was great. I told her it wasn't enjoyable, but it was great. So I wanted to ask you which of your favorite shows were the most fun for you?
What do you mean?
Well,
Sorry.
you were in a bunch of shows with, Buffy and Angel and Dollhouse, and I wanted to see which one was the most fun.
It's hard to say what's the most fun because, honestly, I'm an old lady. It's been 20 years, more than. So, and I feel like art kind of imitates life, and wherever I've been, at whatever time I was working on something, that was a little piece of where I was, and so I can't really pick favorites. I mean, definitely Faith was badass. I mean, that was a lot of my favorite characters, but Dollhouse was really dope too. I love some of the comedy work, Big Bang Theory, and there's just a lot of different avenues that are all kinds of different funs. Hi!
I also wanted to let you know that you have fabulous hair.
There are a lot of kids in the room. Sorry.
I also wanted to let you know that you have fabulous hair. So
Yes, fabulous hair.
Very much. Me too. That's wild and crazy.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, what was the transition like from going from Buffy to Angel?
Was there a transition? It was pretty smooth, and it felt like we were in the same pants. We were the same people, and it was awesome. And I loved sort of how they worked in all the different crossovers. And
Hi, guys.
this is awesome.
Okay, what's the light situation?
Flashes are going. It's like, all right, Halloween.
Woo!
For the disco ball deliver.
Yes, let's do a disco
Is
ball.
somebody messing with us, or is it just?
I have
Is this
no
for
idea.
real?
I have a feeling someone's doing it by
Is it
accident.
Frankenstein?
Unwittingly. Maybe we're being punked.
Well, you have been there.
That's nice lighting right there. Let's keep it like that.
Yeah, it's
Mood
mood
lighting, nice. I like that.
Yeah, I like our mood lighting.
Wait, did I answer your question? Yeah, I did. I got it.
Thank you so much. And you are up, sir.
Yes, this is more of a generic question, but what was that defining moment in your life where you realized that acting is what you had to do?
It was after I had debuted as Faith, and I was raised. My mother is a professor, and she does all kinds of serious, important stuff in the world, and travels and teaches about comparative politics, and I always thought I would. Oh,
There we go.
and I just sort of fell into acting, and I always thought it was really fluffy and superficial, and that I had to eventually go on and do something like that made a difference in the world, and it was really important because I had this sense that that it wasn't until I did Faith, and then I started getting this response from people that really rocked my world, and I would get letters from young women or young men who would say things like I was being abused, and Faith came on the show, and I confronted my abuser, and I mean really deep and powerful stuff that made me go, wow, I really sort of hadn't taken a look at the effect that art can have on people's lives in a really deep and serious way. So that was when I first realized that it was important and stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Nice costume, by the way. You get an A.
First off, thanks for coming. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that appreciates you being here.
Please, Lord.
And now a question a little bit more, less career-wise. If you had to choose, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck?
Oh, duck-sized horses.
Duck-sized horses, and how would you do that?
Wait, come at me again?
One horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses, and how would you do that?
I could take a horse-sized duck in a heartbeat. Come on. 100 legs and just like trick him, and yeah, I'd go A. That's gonna be like my new T-shirt. I could take a horse-sized duck.
I could take a horse-sized duck.
How are you doing today?
Con problem.
I was curious to know which role did you prefer playing, or actually, I should say, which TV series in the way of Angel versus Buffy? Which one did you prefer playing at that time?
Again, I mean, I can't say one was better than the other because it was the same sort of journey for the character, and there was some really deep and cool stuff that I did with Angel on Buffy, and then likewise on Angel with Angel, and I don't know, I mean, they were both really, sometimes I honestly can't even remember where in the story we were, like technically what world we were in, because to me, like it so seamlessly put Faith together and took her apart and dragged her like through the streets behind a bus, and then all that. Yeah. I've never been asked that. What was that?
The dominatrix.
Dominatrix? She asked for my favorite, not your favorite. Rick? Good throw. I loved the second episode where I got to just run through the mountains and the forest in Los Angeles Crest, and the bow hunting episode, and I also enjoyed the episode where I played Margaret, and I got to work with the incredible Olivia Williams, and that was like so terrifying, and so she's so sophisticated and lovely, and then Joss made me put my hair up, and I was going to kill him because he's like, your comfort zone lies in your hair, and I was really messing up. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Not at all.
He like pinned my hair up, and I just felt so naked and startled and afraid, and then he made me do scenes with this amazing actress, and so it was like that terrifying, fun, scary, awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So you're like linked to Josh Whedon a lot with with Dollhouse and Faith and stuff like that, and you play a lot of strong, kick-ass women in a lot of these roles. And now they're developing that new Shield show for ABC, I believe.
I haven't heard of that.
Well, I have.
Oh yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, you'll be getting a call soon.
Off the Avengers.
I promise you, if I had something to share, I would share it with you.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Oh, I haven't heard, whoever the cake maker is who wanted to know what his favorite cake is, he hasn't texted me back yet, but I'll get you on Twitter. Does anyone else know what Joss's favorite kind of cake is? No?
No.
Me neither. He was going kind of low carb last time I saw him, though.
You started a TV show called True Calling, and you got one season, and where were they going?
Like 1 and 6 episodes.
Yeah, you made it out of your second season. Where were they going with it? When they introduced
I mean, I know they brought the priest on, and they wanted the priest to be like the angel of death, and I was the angel of life, and they were planning a whole thing with that, but yeah.
Was that like a creative difference, or was it again like theological, like too biblical or something?
I honestly, it was just one of those times where, I mean, that is how it normally works, where when you get canceled, they're like, and don't show up to work tomorrow, thanks, and they cut it off. With Dollhouse, it was great that they gave us the whole rest of the season to play it out and finish it off, but yeah, that one kind of got
axed.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks. A lot of running. A lot of running now.
A whole lot of running. Like the dog.
On Bring It On and Buffy you did like a lot of cool like stunts. Did you do them yourself or like?
Totally. Yes. I mean, duh. Professional stunt woman and cheerleader and everything. Okay, there are like a few things I didn't do. Like 2, 3 maybe. But I like to do as much as I can. I'm a very like physical person. I like to, you know what I hate? I hate when I'm watching, no disrespect to all the amazing stunt people out there, but I hate when I'm watching and I see like, you know, a shot of myself and about to jump into something and then I just see a wig fly by. I don't like that, so.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
how was the set like?
Why did I choose? I really loved when I first read True Calling. It was actually called Heroine. It was like a female hero, not the other kind. And apparently it was too confusing for some people because we couldn't tell people we were going up to Vancouver to shoot heroin. They renamed it True Calling, and it just, I don't know, I loved the ability for this character to, you know, kind of change destiny or save people, because again, from my mom, I think there's always that desire to like save the world. And then what are favorite experiences from the set? Anything with Zach Galifianakis were my favorite and the worst experiences of my life. He's insane. Probably my favorite parts were watching him go to comedy clubs after work, and he would like bomb. Like a lot of Canadians did not get his humor, and he hadn't been in The Hangover, and he hadn't been anyone yet. So he would go to these comedy clubs, and I would sit in the back row, and he'd say, "Do you want to come to a club tonight and watch me bomb?" And I was like, "Yes, it's my favorite thing ever."
That's my favorite thing.
So those are always really fun things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Eliza.
Hi.
You're awesome.
Thanks. What's your name?
Annabella.
Hi, Annabella. You're dope too, girl.
You've played so many really fabulous characters. They're strong, and a lot of times they have like vulnerable scenes or scenes where you get to see different sides of them. And I was just wondering, like, of those many characters you've played, which have you identified with most, and which scenes?
I never played vulnerable. I'm just tough. I loved that we got to see both in Faith. I think that there were some really vulnerable times for her, and those were, you know, I loved the episode of Angel where we jump out the window. No, I jump out the window, or did I
Yep.
throw someone out the window?
You jump out the window.
But we were in the alley, and that was like a really deep scene with David Boreanaz, and I don't know, I just have been really lucky to have. Joss is definitely somebody that, you know, loves to see me doing the tough bad A girl, and then he also loves to really like tear me down and have me like weeping in fetal position on the floor. So it's really nice to be able to do both.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
You are awesome.
Thank you.
Hi.
I love your hat.
I'm a Canadian.
I like it. But do you think Zach Galifianakis is funny?
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to know if you have a television program that you wish you had been a part of.
Someone just tell me what to say? Say such and such.
But no.
No. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of great shows on TV, but I remember I went in for, what was it called? 6 Feet Under. And that was one that I really loved. And then it didn't happen. But then other things happened. And then I've been watching a lot of Walking Dead lately. I really like that show. I saw my friend Norman earlier. I was like, hey.
Call me.
But that would be kind of cool.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So obviously, throughout the course of Buffy, Faith goes through a lot of changes and is like starts off sort of morally ambiguous and then becomes worse and then becomes better. So I was wondering what it was like to play.
Do it, girl. Come on.
So I was wondering what it was like to play so many different sort of like across the spectrum of moral reasoning, and how you were able to keep the basis of who Faith was while making her both good.
I don't feel smart enough to answer this question. You're making me uncomfortable. No, you're awesome. It's a very good question. Wait, what was your question? how was it, or what was it like playing all those?
Well, first of all, what was it like playing the different levels of moral reasoning, and then second of all, how were you able to keep the essence of the character while fluctuating in the moral reasoning?
I think that, you know, just anytime you get to layer your character with more than just one note. It's always just it's exciting as an actor to get to play that. And sort of one of the things I love about working with Joss is like you really like he doesn't tell you if you're going to be killed. He doesn't tell you if you're going to like where your character's going necessarily. So you're literally like reading every script, and I've said he's like a novelist in my opinion. Like it's like he rolls out these characters chapter after chapter, and every time you read the script, you're seeing sort of where your character's going, and you get to sort of digest it, but not for very long, and you just jump right in. And there's so much complexity, and there's so many different ways. But it made me just kind of love that crazy chick more and more because she wasn't just it wasn't black or white. You know, she wasn't just evil. She wasn't, you know, a bad girl or a good girl. She was all the different, you know, colors in between. And it was, to me, that's a really complex and awesome character.
Thanks.
Thank you. 8+.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, I love all of your shows, of course.
My twin over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it like filming Wrong Turn? That's my favorite movie ever. So.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We shot up in Toronto, and the only not fun part was the poison ivy that I got covered all over my ass. And because the director, Rob Schmidt, wanted us, you know, running through the woods, and he wanted it very real. And so most directors will go location scouting, and they'll see an area and say, I want to shoot here. And then the set people will come, and they did a lovely thing, which was like clear all the areas of poison ivy. And then the director showed up and basically was like, yeah, that wasn't the area I picked. So let's go shoot over there in that poison ivy patch. So we had poison ivy, and otherwise I loved shooting the tree scene. The trees was, some of it was out in the forest, and then a lot of it was in the studio. And I just remember walking into the studio, and I mean, it was, you know, maybe 4 times the size of this room, and they had built this forest with all of these different wires and contraptions and different things. That it was gorgeous, and it was just like playing in a giant, crazy, effed up jungle gym. It was really cool, and I loved that. It was a fun shoot.
Yeah, it was an amazing movie. Thank you.
And I just remember a not fun other part. That I remember when we were doing the scene where they were cutting up my friends, and I was hiding under the bed, and it was like towards the beginning of the movie, and I'm like doing my close-up next to Desmond, and the director he's standing next to the camera, and he starts going, Eliza, now, that's how he talks. It's like Frankenstein. He's like, Eliza, now they're cutting off your Mama Judy's arms and legs. And I was like, I was crying. He went through my family, and he was like picking them off one by one. I was sobbing. It was awful. It's a horrible human being. But otherwise, it's great. Thank you.
Therapy.
I love you. Thank you. I love you too, Mama.
You've just said you do a lot of your own stunts. Has there ever been a stunt or a scene where you've put your foot down and went, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do it this way, and recommended a change?
There hasn't really been stuff I didn't want to do. I've done things at times that I didn't do well, and I hurt myself or made a total fool of myself. I remember the season finale of Dollhouse, there was like this epic scene, and there were 5 cameras, and there were 250 extras, and we all get off the truck, and I have like my gun, and I'm dressed all cool, and I have my gray streak in my hair, and I'm supposed to like round the corner, and it was literally like we had rehearsed it, and it had been misting rain all around, and I walked out, and I totally just like my boot just slipped, and I went up, and I shot some guy by accident, and then landed on my tush, and it wasn't like no one saw. It was cameras and 250 people, and I was the biggest loser of the day. And I broke my elbow, and I had to go to the emergency room, and then I was so embarrassed, I was like, I'm going back! I don't care! And then
We are finishing the
around
scene.
my cast and sling for the rest of the episode.
Thank you for telling us
Sorry
about
to be
that.
embarrassing,
Thank you.
Oh, and now, child, I feel horrible again.
Oh.
Hi.
Thank
You're
you.
years. Just wait a long time, because you only get to be, I'm gonna sound like such a mom, you only get to be a kid once, and you've got plenty of years to work and work hard for your money and do all that stuff. So maybe just, you know, like put it up there on a shelf and look at it, and maybe you can do like some plays in school. I did that. I was a squirrel in Pinocchio. I was a fish in Pinocchio. Remember, he gets eaten by the whale. I was in the background with like a cardboard cutout. Squirrel and Cinderella in my play. I never got the lead part, but I always had an important part. I think we can all agree. And then, you know, when you're a little older, then you can maybe do all kinds of things. You could go to acting school. All kinds of different things.
Go to college.
What's your name? You're so cute. And you're so brave getting up in front of all these people.
Faith.
Your name's Faith? That's right, you're Faith. Aww. Well, Faith, call me in a few years. We'll work something out.
So precious.
You obviously have tackled the first thing, which is not being afraid to, you know, speak in front of lots of people. So that's good. Check.
Thank you so much. Sir, could you take
I
the
don't want to
mic?
give up the spotlight right now.
Hi, I was the Scarecrow in my second grade play. I did a lot of theater in college, and I decided it actually wasn't a hard decision to stick with community theater after that. I eventually went on to IT and tech support, and now I'm teaching social workers how to use a database for homeless services.
Awesome.
In an alternate universe where Eliza didn't go on to become an actress, where do you think her career path might have taken her?
Oh, she'd be, I'm right now kind of addicted to like online and university like extension courses, so I'm figuring that out. I'm sort of covering all different areas. I wish I had more time in Texas, but I have my modern backyard biology gardening class tomorrow in Venice.
Woo!
Yes, I'm learning how to reduce my carbon footprint and grow my own weeds and veggies. And then I love political science. You know, my mother, what she teaches, I've always loved. And I'm doing a fundraising class right now to kind of, I have like a triangle plan. Like I want the political, and I also like kind of counseling and recovery work, and then I want to be able to learn how to raise a lot of money to help those places. So it's a nice little triangle.
Thanks.
That's my plan. That's what I'm doing.
So I'm back. Just see you. I'm sorry, I have another question, and it's a much better one. I'm a huge Buffy fan. I didn't have a good question the first time, and now I do.
You're too hard on yourself, man.
My heart's like racing right now because I'm so excited. The season 4 episode, Who Are You?, where you guys trade bodies. That episode is awesome. And when I watch it, every time I watch it, I can't help but wonder how you and Sarah Michelle planned to do that. And I wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about how you guys did that, because you guys did awesome imitations of each other. So, and where you, in my mind, I'm thinking you're going, now don't get offended if I do it like this. So how was it?
We didn't really talk to each other about it. We both just like got a bunch of tape and went in our trailers and we're like, yeah, gotcha. And then I don't know. We just I watched a lot of tape of her, and I watched how she did that like coming out of the side of her mouth thing and Giles. She just like, you know, she was convinced that I say about, like that Bostonians sound Canadian when they say about. I don't get that, but she really rocked that. And then, you know, just put on the leather pants and went and flew around her boyfriend and did all the stuff. And I loved that episode. It was fun to do.
It's like my favorite.
I think the crew had the most fun with it.
That's what was great about it. It was so fun to watch because you guys were having so much fun with it. So by that time, it hit its stride. Awesome job.
Thank you.
We have about 5 minutes, not quite, so we could take perhaps one.
Sure.
It's okay.
I guess I wanted to ask you about, of course, in Buffy, you've been getting a lot of Buffy questions, but did you like kind of playing, like, kind of like going from the good guy to kind of like the bad guy, and then kind of like, I don't know, everybody started feeling bad for you, but then they still hated you, and then stuff like that. So.
Yeah, no, I liked it, and I could always tell what episode had aired based on the way people approached me on the street. They were either like, "You're so awesome," or they were like, "I hate you, who do you think you are? I'm stealing Buffy's boyfriend and friends." And so I could always tell from the fan response that, you know, the character was moving people. It always depended on which direction, but again, just that kind of like going all around and hitting on different notes was one of my favorite things about that character. And I loved like even when she was being really, really bad and like torching people's faces, people were like, "She's just misunderstood." Yeah, she's not evil. I feel so bad for her. I'm like, wow. She had a really tough background, yeah, man. She lived in a hotel and everything. Boston streets were hard on her. Like, she's killing people.
Yeah.
Redemption, man.
She didn't have Christmas.
Totally.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more quick one.
Hi. You mentioned history of interest in politics by yourself and your family, and I'm just curious, what's your opinion of what you think the path the country is going on? And if you
Do you follow me on Twitter?
No, I
Yeah.
You'll find out a lot about how I feel on Twitter. I feel like in a space like this, we want to, I don't want to start any big rumbles, but I think, you know, I definitely have a strong opinion, and I voice it because, you know, not because I think it's just a dumb actress and people should listen to what I say. I'm a human being and I have my opinions, and that's what Twitter's about, is kind of saying who you are and what you believe in. And so, I turn anybody off, that's your prerogative, and, you know, different folks, different strokes, but I have hope, and yeah. Sorry. Romney was my bishop, too, and I'm still voting for Obama. I have a t-shirt that did say that 2 nights ago.
I want to thank the
I'm about
audience.
to get killed.
I think Carrie Ben's here, just by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for telling us
I
that.
want to thank this audience so very much. You were terrific. And also, let's give a big round. Thank you so much. I have Halloween candy at my table, so if you want to come.
I was gonna have a Halloween party in LA this weekend, but I thought we, could come here and we could have a Halloween party. So I'm giving out sugar at my table.
Candy?